I think it's worth talking about some of the things that have led a lot of men to be inspired by Trump's win. I've read enough commentary about the different reasons why he won, especially why he's won increasingly so with minority men, for example. And people give a lot of reasons. Kamala didn't say the right things, they didn't focus on the right things. The extreme left think it's because there's more racism. I mean, there are all sorts of reasons people put out there. But I think one thing that not a lot of people have focused on is actually the fact that men, and I mean just men in general, can respect some aspects of him regardless of his political positions or his opinions. And one of those aspects is the assassination attempt. After he almost got assassinated, the guy pumped his fist into the air 3 times. Fight, fight, fight. I mean, that sort of courage and resilience in the moment isn't something that you can fake. And I think that a lot of people, a lot of men in particular, see something in that. Whether you agree with him or not, you know that this is a person who has some kind of iron inside him. And I suspect that now for his second term as a president, other leaders around the world, in particular autocrats, are going to approach him with a slightly different mindset. I think that assassination attempt and his immediate response to it was a turning point in how a lot of people see Trump. I don't think it makes a difference with the people who hate him already. I mean, the left wing, the media in America in particular, and actually in the West in general. But for the people who were sort of neutral about him, or people who lead other nations, I mean, the autocrats, the dictators, or just leaders of other countries in general, I think they will approach this man with a little bit more respect, I think. And I think it's that sort of respect that you earn just by virtue of bravery and courage. Again, in the moment, which you can't really fake that. You just can't fake that. And I think alongside that, you've got people supporting him, like Elon, for example. Now, Elon's a man who has done so much for humanity in terms of advancing forward really difficult technologies, if you think about it. Electric cars, space rockets, reusable space rockets. He's out there challenging himself. He's out there overcoming challenges. He's out there pushing the boundaries in a very real way, moving the needle forward for all of humanity. That's something a lot of men, I mean, again, respect. And not just men, women as well, but I'm focusing specifically on men because people, particularly on the left, are just wondering, bewildered as to why so many men would vote for Trump and what they see in him. And they wrongly conclude that it's because, well, these men are misogynists, these men are racist, and they'll agree with what he says. And I don't think it is that. I think that, first of all, a lot of people, it's possible for a lot of people to listen to what he says and just regard it as locker room talk. Now, I'm not saying that every single thing he says must be disregarded in that way. I'm just saying that it is possible to take a position where you say, okay, you know what, he's just mouthing off about a bunch of stuff. And that's the kind of thing which would make you think, yeah, this guy, maybe I like some of the things he says, but I don't know if I can get on board with everything. But then when you see his reaction in that assassination, that for sure makes you know this is a man with some core, some iron inside him. And so you think, okay, well, what kind of leader do I want? I want a strong leader. I want someone strong at the negotiating table. And I think that's what draws people to him. And of course, it has to be said, the opposition didn't offer a more compelling alternative. That has to be said. And if they had, he might not have won. But going back to Elon, I mean, Elon is a man who, again, whether you agree or disagree with what he says, you can't but appreciate what he's accomplished in the face of massive obstacles. Being a tech entrepreneur, especially in hardware, is really hard. It's really, really difficult to do hardware. Software is a lot easier to do in that respect. And he's done this across multiple verticals. It's not just that, he's inspiring to me. I mean, he's inspiring to other people because of his dreams. He wants to make humanity a multi-planetary species. It's an inspiring dream because it's so ridiculously difficult to achieve. And this guy's really going for it, and he's achieving these steps. And there's something in that. There's something in that that I think a lot of men can tap into, that inspirational aspect of it. I think men in general are simple beings in a way. We're simple creatures. We aren't high maintenance. We just want to grow and be strong and do incredible things. We want to be inspired. We want to live inspiring lives. And that means having great hobbies. It means pushing ourselves. It means being valued for what we do and what we accomplish. And I think in the last 10, 15 years, from what I can see in the media landscape in particular in the West, men have been, in a way, marginalized, browbeaten by sort of the woke left, the wokerati, the sort of neo-feminism that we seem to have now. And I don't think there have been enough symbols for men to look up to. And I think these guys, and Elon, people like Elon in particular, are such symbols. And I think that's why they appeal to so many men. Because for me personally, I don't agree with Elon on everything. Like, I don't agree with this whole take on voter ID that he's been banging on about for a couple of months. I don't agree with Trump on everything. But even for me, seeing this win, seeing how they made this happen, it made me think, I could do so much more in my life. I could achieve so much more. I can push myself so much more. There's something in there for me. I think the thing that I take away most from him is just that iron core that he seems to have more than anything. And I feel like people shouldn't dismiss this guy. They shouldn't dismiss him. I think there's definitely a resilience there within him. And I think that's a good thing. And it will do the country good in some level.